Poltergeists are more than just ghosts. They make their presence known in terrifying ways. Tonight, we explore true first-hand accounts of unexplained noises, objects moving on their own, and encounters that defy all logic. Are these restless spirits trying to communicate, or are they something far more sinister? Listen in to these eerie stories and decide for yourself. So this happened a few months ago, and we still can't explain it. Some friends and I love escape rooms, and we found this one downtown that was supposed to be really immersive. It was in an old building, and the theme was a 1920s murder mystery. The place was great. It had dim lighting with creaky floors. You know, the works. The guy running it gave us the usual speech about not breaking anything and how we only had 60 minutes to escape, or we had to do the walk of shame. He also joked, "Don't let the spirits help you," to which we all laughed. Looking back, we shouldn't have. The game started off normal. We split up to look for clues. The first weird thing we noticed was the cold spots. Like, certain areas of the room were noticeably more colder than others, and not in an old building kind of way. It was more like standing in front of an open freezer door kind of cold. Then, about 20 minutes in, the lights flickered. That wasn't too weird since escape rooms sometimes have effects like that. But then, my friend Josh swore he saw someone move in the next room over. It was just supposed to be us in there at the time. We all stopped, staring at the doorway. The room next to us was dark, and for a second, I swore I saw movement too, like a shadow shifting. But when we stepped inside it, it was empty. A few minutes later, we heard a loud bang come from the room we had just left, and when we ran back in there, one of the chairs had been knocked over. Then, we all just about jumped out of our skin when the walkie-talkie the game master gave us crackled. But it wasn't the game master's voice. It was just static at first, and then this weird whispering. We all just stood there frozen. One of my other friends grabbed the walkie-talkie and said, "Very funny, dude," because we all thought it was part of the experience. And then a book from the bookshelf in the corner launched itself across the room, barely hitting me. We all freaked out and full on hit the emergency exit button. The game master genuinely looked confused when we stumbled out, and his face went pale when we told him what had happened. He swore up and down that he hadn't done any of that. He said that there were no flickering lights or sound effects in that area, and he hadn't touched the walkie-talkie at all. He even let us check out the control room to prove that there was no one else there. We left in a hurry, and the next morning, I got a text from Josh saying he woke up at 3 a.m. to the sound of his bedroom door creaking open, but when he turned on the light, nothing was there. I honestly don't know if we were alone in that escape room, but we sure as hell never went back. Let me start off by saying I never believed in this stuff. I always thought Ouija boards were just mass-produced, cheap cardboard with glow-in-the-dark letter toys, and nothing more. But last year, I learned the hard way that some things shouldn't be messed with. It started as a dumb idea at a house party. A friend brought out an old wooden Ouija board she said belonged to her grandmother. She said it was legit and not one of those Walmart specials you can get at Christmas time. We all just laughed and started playing, daring each other to ask stupid questions. At first, nothing happened. The planchette barely moved, and after about 10 minutes, it started sliding, spelling out "hello" over and over. I accused the person in front of me of pushing it, but everyone swore they weren't moving it. One guy said, "Who are we talking to?" The board spelled out, "Stay." We kept going, half joking, but also kind of spooked because why would it say that in response to "Who are we talking to?" Someone else asked, "What do you want?" The planchette slid fast as it spelled, "You." That's when I got the worst feeling in my chest. It felt like a vice grip and I couldn't really breathe. I laughed it off, but I swear something shifted in the room. The air got thick, the candles flickered, and I felt watched. We closed the session properly, put the board away, and called it a night. And that's when the weird stuff started. For the next few weeks, little things would happen in my apartment. Objects started moving. I'd leave my keys on the counter and come back to find them on the floor. Lights would flicker randomly when they never did that before, and my cat started hissing at corners with nothing there. And if that's not enough, things escalated. One night, I woke up to the sound of something scraping against my bedroom door, like slow scratches. I thought it was my cat until I noticed that he was curled up on my bed, wide-eyed and staring at the door. I didn't dare open it. A few nights later, I woke up at around 1 a.m. drenched in sweat, but my room was freezing. I rolled over and there was a figure standing in the corner. It was tall and it looked like something was wrong with its shape. It didn't move, it just stood there, watching. I tried convincing myself that it was sleep paralysis, but when I turned on my bedside lamp, my closet door slowly swung open on its own. I got a priest to bless my apartment after that. I even apologized out loud, telling whatever it was that I didn't mean to invite it. Things calmed down after the blessing, but sometimes, late at night, I still hear faint tapping on my bedroom door, but I never open it. I need to get this out there because I don't know what to do anymore. This isn't just one of those I heard a weird noise kind of stories. This has been happening for weeks now, and it's getting worse. For context, I live alone in a small house. It's nothing special, just a cozy one-bedroom place. Never had any weird experiences before, but about a month ago, strange things started happening. At first, it was subtle. Lights would flicker, random cold spots would appear in different areas of the house, small noises that I could brush off as the house settling. But then, one night, as I was watching TV, my kitchen lights flickered. Not a slow dimming, but full-on strobing for a solid 5 seconds before shutting off completely again. I got up to check the bulb, but before I could even reach the switch, the light came back on. That I couldn't ignore. A few nights later, I was in bed, half asleep, when I heard a loud thump from the living room. I checked the security feed on my phone, and I saw a shadow move across the room. The only problem, there was no light on to cast said shadow. I replayed it over and over, each time telling myself it had to be a trick of the light, but without any light, I couldn't explain it. Then, things got worse. I woke up one night to the feeling of something touching my arm. It wasn't a light brush, it felt more like fingers pressing down on me. I shot up, but there was nothing there. The room was cold, even though I had the heater running. Then came the worst part. I have a shelf in my hallway where I keep random stuff like keys, mail, and whatever else I put there. I was walking past it one night when everything on it just flew off. Not slid off. No, this was launched onto the floor like someone swiped their arm across it. I stood there, frozen in place, just staring at it. Then, before I can even react, the hallway light started flickering like crazy. And that's when I heard it for the first time, a whisper coming from behind me. I don't know what it said, but I felt its breath on the back of my neck. I grabbed my keys and left the house so fast I didn't even lock the door. I ended up spending the night at a friend's place. I checked my security footage the next morning, and the hallway camera didn't catch much, just the stuff falling off the shelf. But right before it happened, I saw a shadow standing at the end of the hall. I've since saged the place, but it's no use. I've tried even ignoring it, but it's just getting worse. At this point, I don't know what else I can do. Hey guys, Poltergeist encounters leave behind more than just fear. They leave questions that may never have answers. Were these restless spirits, or something even more unexplainable? Whatever the case, one thing is certain. When a poltergeist makes itself known, it's impossible to ignore. Have you ever experienced objects moving on their own, or even unexplained disturbances? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And if you enjoyed these eerie encounters, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss what's lurking in the next video. Until next time, stay safe and be careful what you invite in.